How I've been making gold in Wrath of the Lich King Classic. Hi there, I'm Golden Routes, and today we'll be taking a look at how I've been making gold in Wrath of the Lich King Classic. I haven't been out farming much, which is a big surprise. But for the most part, we've been doing what's been called shuffling. I love shuffles. I started off as a shuffler. You know, that's how I first started making gold. So, believe it or not, routes is not my primary source of income. It's actually shuffling. There's a couple of different things that you can do, though, to maximize your gold. So, for example, you can turn one shuffle into two shuffles and make gold off of it that way, or turn it into three shuffles and make even more gold off of it. So, for example, I haven't personally done this just yet, but I'm getting ready to, just because I've got a ton of this, what is it, malachite? I think that's how it's pronounced, but I got a ton of it, right guys? So, I have probably 10 to 14 stacks of it on the auction house right now. And it's not really selling. It's not a fast seller. So what I could do with it, because it's not selling, is I could turn it into the malachite pendant, which is really cheap to make. It's really easy, really simple. You know, it just takes one of the malachite and a delicate copper wire. So you're probably wondering what we're going to do with it after that. You know, what are we doing with the pendant after we create it? You could either sell it on the auction house, which probably won't sell, especially if you create a bunch of them, or you can disenchant it. The disenchant value, I believe, is right around 1 gold, and it's only going to cost us maybe, what is that, 50 silver? Yeah, 50 silver-ish worth of stuff right here. Depends on the price of copper too. If copper's too high, then I wouldn't worry too much about it. I was lucky and I found the delicate copper wire for decently cheap. It was cheaper than this even, so I went ahead and bought it. So you'll want to definitely check your auction house for copper, just to be safe, you know. Or you can go out and farm it yourself, or if you're buying copper ore cheap, like what I've been doing to prospect it to sell the gems, you can smelt some of that copper and use it for this even, you know. So you don't have to prospect all your copper. That's the primary shuffle I've been doing with this character, is I've been prospecting. You know, I've only been able to prospect a couple of different things. Haven't quite made it to iron yet, I don't think. Yeah, no, not yet. Not quite there. But either way, you can make so much gold off of prospecting copper ore. I've been buying it out at like 5 gold per stack, selling the gems on the auction house, and the malachite is just kind of a byproduct of what I'm really after. I'm actually after the tiger's eye and the shadow gems. So I'm already making gold off of the tiger's eye and the shadow gems. So the malachite is just kind of extra gold, you know. So why not turn it into even more extra gold, right? So let's go ahead and hop over to my enchanter. I didn't send anything over, but that's okay. I wasn't really planning on it, because what we can do is we can come in here and we can even look up the malachite rings and stuff, if I can remember where they're at. So right here, they're going for gold. Let's go ahead and buy a couple of them, just so we can see what they're disenchanting into. I know it's going to be strange dust, but I don't know how many. So what we're doing here is this is going to give me a rough idea of how much gold I should expect from just enchanting one of these pendants. You know, so is it even going to be worth it to even do this shuffle, you know? Oh, what am I disenchanting? Okay. So we're getting 3 strange dust from that one. Another 3. So it's looking a lot like our pendants are going to be making us around 1 gold each time you disenchant it. You know, sometimes less, maybe sometimes more. It just depends on how lucky you get with the disenchants. So, in other words, looks like somebody's trying to flip strange dust right now. Maybe not. But, anyways, right now, to sum things up, what we're doing is we're going to take copper ore, we're going to prospect it, we're going to use the malachite that's not selling, and turn it into pendants. And then we're going to send those pendants over to the character that knows disenchanting, and then we're going to disenchant them. And then we're going to sell the strange dust on the auction house. So what this is doing is not only are we still making gold off of the gems, like the Tiger's Eye and Shadow Gem, but we're also making gold off of the strange dust as well. So we're making a good amount of gold off of doing 2 different shuffles in one, if that makes sense. So there are other shuffles where you can do it up to, I think, 3 different times. There's 3 different shuffles for it, but that's a little complicated for right now. Just mainly looking at the simple stuff, I guess. So yeah, I think that's really about how I've been making my gold, honestly. You know, I also check the auction house for cheap auctions. I do that. But for the most part, if you're wanting to make gold and steady gold, then shuffling is definitely a really good option, you know, and I don't know why a lot of people don't do it as of right now, because it's so good. You know, another example of me making gold. And keep in mind that I'm not sending any gold over to any of these other characters. So I bought all of these bags, which I know isn't much, but I've been selling the alabaster pigment for 5 gold a stack. You know, I got some golden pigment on the auction house as well, but I've been selling pigment on the auction house from herbs that cost me next to nothing to buy off the auction house. You know, like, who wouldn't want to maximize off of a shuffle? The 3 simple shuffles that you can do right now, you'll want to definitely make sure of prices on the auction house first. There are add-ons that help you with that. I don't know any of them off the top of my head. But you'll want to check the auction house for the byproduct that you'll be getting off of the shuffle. So let's take copper ore, for example. You will get the malachite, the Tiger's Eye, and the Shadow Gem. So you'll want to check the prices of all 3 of those, and then you will check the price of copper. If the price of copper is less than the price of those 3 gems, you'll kind of have to do quite a bit of math in order to make sure you're not losing out on any gold. That's where drop chances come in hand and stuff like that, you know. So usually what I do is I'll test a shuffle first. So I'll buy up to like 4 or 5 stacks of copper ore at, you know, a certain amount of gold per stack, and then I will prospect it, you know. And then once I prospect it, I take the costs it took me to buy the copper ore, and then I sell the gems on the auction house, and then I factor in the cost of the copper ore, and then I see my profit. Okay, so if you're still following me, you should be making profit off of these shuffles. You know, you don't want to break even. If you break even, then you don't want to do the shuffle. But yeah, anyways, the 3 types of shuffles that you can do right now are prospecting, do any ore. Again, make sure you check prices of the gems, and make sure you check the prices of your ore that you'll be prospecting, and make sure that the ore is less than the gems. So the other 2 shuffles are enchanting. So you'll want to check the price of dusts and greens. You know, you want to make sure that you're getting a good amount of dust off of the greens that you'll be disenchanting. And then last but not least, milling. You know, the milling shuffle is probably one of my most profitable ones, but it's a harder one to make gold off of because it's not got that high of a market. So hopefully this helps you guys make some gold. The best way I've been making gold is through shuffles. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I've made probably 2-3K off of just shuffling. Nothing too serious though. You know, it's not like I'm making bank off of it. It's just I don't have a whole lot of time to play, so I don't dedicate my time to farming all the time, you know. I actually dedicate it to finding locations and recording them and all of that. That's about all I do. So I don't really dedicate myself to farming anymore. I know I should, but I don't know. We'll see. Either way, that's how I make gold in Classic Wrath of the Lich King. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.